I will never forget all the children trembling with fear.
I will never forget the lifeless body of the girl hanging on the side of a wall, her legs completely blown off.
I will never forget the doctor who had to amputate the leg of his daughter at home and without anesthesia in order to save her.
I will never forget the babies in the incubators left at the hospital to die, and the photos of the remains of them after weeks of lying there.
Good morning, Oslo. Once again, we have woken up to a brand new day. Our city will be very active today. The Action Group will hold a highly impactful and loud Palestine rally in front of the Ministry of Finance. Run for Palestine Oslo continues their protest for the freedom of Palestine by running.
It's a place where the cobblestone streets are framed by sleek, modern architecture, where the air is crisp and the fjords cut into the land like ancient scars. Oslo, Norway, Europe's richest country.
Free Palestina! Free Palestina! Free Palestina! Free Palestina!
But beneath the calm exterior of this Nordic utopia, there is a growing unease. The streets of Oslo are coming alive with voices. They're angry, passionate, and demanding. Pro-Palestinian activists fill the city squares, waving flags, chanting slogans, demanding that their government and the people take a hard look at where their money goes. In the cafes, the parliament, and the protests that spill out onto the streets of the capital will meet the people who are pushing back. They're lawyers, students, activists, journalists, everyday citizens, Norwegians, and Palestinians alike.
Palestine will be free! Free, free Palestine!
Without a doubt, one of the names that tops Hollywood's most elegant and powerful voices is Cate Blanchett. She's not only given her support, but also delivered a powerful message of hope with her dress bearing the colors of the Palestinian flag. Her graceful gestures like a salute of solidarity that transcends borders, silent yet equally powerful, just like the moment here. It's a moment that reminds us all of unity and empathy. I'm wondering if you could sort of share with me, by breaking your silence, some of your emotions.
It's very emotional because now we have been watching a genocide unfolding for 11 months, and it's difficult to be in the emotions all the time. But standing here today, I felt very strongly for the people who have been killed.
Do you feel that October the 7th was a tipping point in terms of the perception?
Yes and no, because for some people, they didn't know that much about Palestine. So especially in the first days and weeks after October 7th, A lot of people, of course, had sympathy with Israel. Israeli civilians were killed on 7th of October. But then, as Israel also started closing off electricity, water, food, access to medicine, and strengthening the siege on Gaza and killing children in schools, in shelters, attacking hospitals, of course, the public opinion shifted. But we arranged demonstration on October 8th, and 6,000 people showed up immediately in the streets because we all realized what would come. I've been feeling a lot of anger, a lot of sorrow, and a lot of frustration that this is so well documented. Everyone sees what's going on. They want to eradicate Gaza, and it's still allowed to happen, and it's happening with Western support.
So if you were to describe what Israel is doing, or the way that is being empowered, in one word, what would it be?
Settler colonialism. Israel is stealing land, and they are expelling the inhabitants of that land. While the Israelis think of land as a commodity, something they can take away the people who has a relation to this land, and they can sell it, they can destroy it, they can use it. They don't feel the love for the land. But what gives me hope is to see the amount of solidarity in Norway, but worldwide, globally.
After this quiet yet moving demonstration, I'll be visiting Wakar at his home, who has been tirelessly shooting every demonstration for months and sharing them with the world.
Hey, Wakash.
Hi, how are you?
How are you? Good to see you.
See you too.
What do you have there?
I'm operating my drone, and I was actually filming you all the way from your car to here. So I got this area all covered.
Okay, so you're following me.
Yeah, so welcome to Oslo.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I want to find out about what you've been doing.
I'm actually been involved a lot around demonstrations in Oslo for the Palestinian solidarity. And we have tried, or we have actually success with documenting a lot of demonstrations, and the people in the streets were quite angry and they are frustrated. We have tried to get the little Oslo's people's voice outside Oslo's walls.
How do you think the picture has changed since October 7th?
I think the social media have been a big part of it. Before 7th October, nobody was seeing actually the struggle, the pain, all the blood coming out of Gaza and also the West Bank.
Maybe it's actually time to bring the drone down, don't you think?
Yeah.
We can do that. Now, on the 6th of January, it was bitterly cold here in Oslo. And that was a demonstration that actually got a lot of attention. What was that day like?
It was a, like say, cold day. The streets was filled. All of us, we spread out in the streets, but it was difficult to document all of the people, and we didn't have the height to show how many people it was. But we managed it, and I also filmed the appeals, which was seen by millions of people, by Dr. Mats Gilbert, and he went in details of how the Israeli army was working and how they was cleansing the people, about the hospitals.
If you were to describe what Israel is doing in Gaza right now, in one word, how would you describe it?
Genocide.
Simple as that.
As simple as that.
How many bedrooms do I need to get a bit of sleep? To get a bit of sleep. How many chairs to sit myself down? How many roads to walk back to you, my distant country? This time I've gone, and I'm not coming back. Your job now is to sleep out, lovesick and afraid.
With their innocent and artistic spirit, Charlotte and her friends stage a heart-touching performance. For their venues, they prefer some of the city's most recognizable buildings. Today, they'll be holding a protest with a small group at Oslo's world-famous Opera House.
Charlotte, just a moment ago, you actually dropped 3 long columns of fabric, and then with the red triangle representing the Palestinian flag.
Well, this is all a part of what we're doing. We do visual things like this with few participants, so it's flexible. We can do it anywhere.
So you started this form of activism. How has the journey been for you?
There's a lot of feelings, but I think we have to realize that the Israeli government doesn't care about international law. It couldn't care less. So what we need is a full arms embargo, because if Israel has weapons, they will keep killing, mutilating, forcefully displacing the Palestinian people. It's not about us. It's about justice and equality for all.
Talking about feelings, I want to ask you how you feel writing a melody to a poem like that.
We made the production with some fellow activists and good friends in Sweden called the Winterbird Project, and all revenue generated by the song is donated to the Palestinian Medical Relief Society, because we strongly believe that it's important to support the local humanitarian organizations and initiatives. We can't think of Israel as a normal state because of the impunity, because of how they treat international law and conventions. And when you see what they do to people and how they lie about it and how they are allowed to do it and allowed to lie about it, we actually need to work harder and harder, because it's getting worse. The injustice and the inhumanity is, it's beyond comprehension.
But if you were to describe what Israel is doing in one word or a couple of words, what would it be?
That's hard. I'm sure you can imagine, but my thought is dehumanization.
How many bedrooms do I need to get a bit of
Oslo's activists are out on the streets almost every day. They're speaking out, resisting, and raising awareness. And they do this day in and day out. It's as though Oslo's quiet streets at night are a nurturing ground for ideas of the protests that'll be taking place during the day. Everything that is put on is for a free Palestine.
This time I've gone.
Action Group Norway is behind some of the country's strongest and vigorous protests. They are driven and full of fury. Today, they're preparing to put on a particularly loud protest.
Demonstrators have gathered outside of the country's finance ministry.
Now, this is the state institution that governs and acts as an oversight mechanism for the country's oil fund, one of the world's largest pension funds. Their message, their desire is clear. You get the ethics committee to divest from Israeli defense companies and those who operate in the occupied territories. It seems that your actions have actually paid off.
Like, we've been doing actions, demonstrating, blocking official governments since the war started in October, late October, as a reaction to the brutality we're seeing Israel doing in Gaza. But today, it's paid off, as you said. Like, the government has said we have to stop some of our investments in companies that, like, operate in the West Bank, occupied territories in East Jerusalem, companies that break international law. So we're happy that that paid off, but we're still not completely happy about it, because they said we're gonna stop investing in some companies, in a few ones. While we know the Norwegian government has over 140 billion crowns in companies in the West Bank, illegal companies working on occupied land. So our message to the government, to the investment department, is to take all the investments out of this area.
But when you look at sort of the evolution of what's been happening, especially here in Norway, one of the first countries in Western Europe to recognize Palestine as a state on a state level, and now this decision by the Ethics Committee, it is a move towards the right direction in terms of what you want.
It is, you're completely right, it is a move in the right direction, but the recognition of Palestine, it should have came when they recognized Israel 60 years ago, 70 years ago, not today. But still, it's a very good move. We see what the government is doing. We see that they speak out for Palestine, but we want them to do more than just speaking. Recognizing Palestine gives them also a legal responsibility.
The fund is actually one of the world's largest sovereign wealth funds, one of the world's largest pension funds, and all you're asking essentially is no double standard to run this fund in the best interest for the Norwegian people's future.
The welfare fund is my money, it's everyone in Norway's money that we're saving for future generations, and I do not want my money to be used to kill people in Gaza. I don't want my money to be used to build settlements in the West Bank. I do not want my money to be used to get Palestinians out of Jerusalem.
How have you been feeling since October the 7th?
I'll say it's disgusting, because it's bigger than what we're seeing, because it's humans that are doing this, while they know that they're doing this. It's hundreds of thousands of men and women who are killing hundreds of thousands of children, and they're full aware of it. And those people are gonna travel and go around the world and come to Norway or to Turkey or to other countries. And it's disgusting that they know what they're committing.
Both Liverpool centre-backs have stayed forward here. Jota, and up towards Konate, goal!
Unlike many sports that rely on brute force, football celebrates the beauty of the soft touch. That's why it's referred to as the beautiful game. And for many Palestinian children who have known nothing but brute force, for them to come out here from the occupied territories and refugee camps and participate in this youth football tournament here in Oslo is nothing short of a beautiful experience. So the Norwegian government has actually taken a bold step in terms of the recognition of the state of Palestine. Yet when it comes to the country's oil fund, there's still a bit of affiliation.
The organization is working with the trade unions aid organization. So we're working with them on this campaign against the Norwegian oil fund. So it's actually trying to put pressure on this ethics council so they could make a list with countries that they're not allowed investing in, basically. So they could put Israel on that list as well.
And you're also working in an organization where 80% of its employees are female, are women.
Yeah.
You're also a strong supporter of the rights for women.
A couple of years ago, we started sponsoring the projects. So this year we had 2 girls team. They had teams from Gaza as well, but they weren't able to bring any kids out this year. They don't even know where the players are.
to see how they react when they come to Norway and live, how to meet other children in freedom, can play football with no drones, no war, just live as all other children.
It's really about like the struggle for freedom and the struggle for equality and like giving solidarity.
It started in the 1990. My dad won in a lottery, Norwegian lottery. He was asked, is it possible to get any teams from Palestine to play at Norway Cup? And he started, he got a little trouble. He had trouble with the Norwegian foreign minister that first said that there's no country that is called Palestine. They're not part of FIFA. They cannot play under the Palestinian flag. They have to play under the Israeli flag. And my dad said, no, we're not going to do that. This is a unique opportunity for them to get out and watch that freedom. The first thing some of them ask, can we sleep outside? Can we, underneath the trees that is at this field, can we sleep outside? Because we're not allowed to do it in Gaza.
If you were to summarize, perhaps in one word, what is happening there right now?
In one word, that's so hard. Injustice.
Oh, that's a difficult one word. This is a genocide.
It will be going on for hundreds of years because trauma travels in generations. And I think a lot of Norwegians knows that.
The Jewish people have been through a lot of things in their history, and now they're using the same thing with the Palestinians. I think that's disgusting. It is, and the world is just watching.
Run for Palestine is an awareness event organized across various countries around the world. The movement started in Canada back in 2009. Run for Palestine volunteers in Oslo are also united for this cause. Today, I'll be meeting up with them to join their run.
Hey.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm all good, man.
So, hi, how are you? You ready for today's run?
Yeah, sure.
Is this more about exercise or is it more about voicing your feelings for what's happening in Palestine?
Definitely we run to keep speaking out about the Palestinian cause, yeah.
In terms of the intention that you're grabbing, do you feel that people are paying attention?
We have different running paths every single Sunday. So we run every Sunday. And so I can see that we reach out to much more people and different type of people than having a demonstration one place where everyone is gathering.
If you were to describe what Israel is doing, not only in Gaza, but also in the occupied West Bank, how would you describe it?
I feel like an anger, and I don't even have like the vocabulary to really describe how horrific what is happening and how unfair that a government like the Israeli one gets to do whatever they want. No one is stopping what is going on, and we have seen enough.
How's the run going for you so far?
It's going very well. We have the perfect weather conditions.
Yeah, it's actually quite pleasant.
Yeah. We're getting a lot of positive reaction from the crowd. People are horning with the cars.
Yeah, I saw
clapping, smiling, showing us peace sign.
Get ready, we're ballin'. I hit the floor and it shook. Let the beast out the cage, whole crowd stop and look. Urban legend, superhuman in the flesh, time to flex. Feed me some competition, I'm hungry, who's next? They wanna know what greatness looks like. Everybody want the title, but they ready to fight.
While they stand strong for a free Palestine, they're also delivering a clear message to the leaders of their own countries, asking for an immediate end to the bloodshed.
As the chants grow louder and the crowd swell, the message is clear. The people gathered here believe in the power of collective action. The streets of Oslo are far from the streets of Gaza or even Ramallah, but today they're connected by a shared commitment to justice. And as we wrap up our journey, one thing is certain. The movement we've witnessed here in Norway is part of a growing global tide, a call to action that won't be silenced until Palestinians are free.